Hello, fellow trailblazers. Welcome to another episode on my platforms, Escapes with TK and, of course, Money Adventures with TK. My name is Tukiso TK Ntebe, and on this platform, I bring you fresh content on anything personal finance, money, travel, and lifestyle. Now, many of you guys know just how passionate I am about education specifically. I love money, but I'm also a nerd at heart. So in today's conversation, I have the privilege of speaking to one of my dearest friends and, of course, business associate called Thato Rammoko, which you'll get to meet. In this episode, we get to unpack how a postgraduate student who's looking for a scholarship can literally use crowdfunding, a platform to do crowdfunding to really raise funds for that tuition. So stay tuned for an amazing conversation. And of course, if you like this video, you know the rules, guys. Give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, subscribe, share, and lastly, hit the notification bell. So without wasting any more time, let me join the trailblazer that is doing the things to make the things happen so that students have access to quality education abroad. So Trey, because I call you Trey, but I'm assuming that people who are watching this video and of course listen to the podcast don't know who Thato Rammoko is. So very briefly, who would you say Thato Rammoko is? Who are you?
That's a very difficult question. But yeah, my name is Thato Rammoko. My nickname is Trey, as you put it, as you said. I am a technologist. My profession is in technology. I'm an entrepreneur in the technology space, and I'm also a tech enthusiast. You know, some people may know me as Trey the artist. I used to do a bit of hip hop back in the day.
Oh, nice.
But you know, I've sort of put it on hold for now and focusing more on technology. Yeah, I think in a nutshell, that's who I am.
Just before we move on, what does Trey stand for? Because I recently discovered what Trey actually stands for. So what does it actually stand for people who don't know?
So Trey is actually my initials, right? And it's actually pronounced, or rather spelled T-R-E, when there's an R at the end.
Aha.
So the R at the end always gave me, you know, a challenge of is it Trey or is it Tra or Trey? And then I'm like, because I'm the guy coining the name is Trey. It's pronounced Trey. The R at the end is silent. Linguists will fight me on it, but it's my name. I have, I have the final say on how my name is pronounced, but that's how it's spelled. So T-R-E-R is my initials. Thato Rammoko Edwin.
Interesting. So we now know who Trey is.
100%.
So you are a technology enthusiast.
Yeah.
What did you talk us through your academic background? What does a technology enthusiast actually do?
So my academic background is computer science. I have a degree in computer science. I studied at the National University of Lesotho, and I've always been passionate about IT, right? The field of IT. I did my high school at Paul Erasmus here in Free State, Senegal. And even when I got there, you know, it was clear what I wanted to do. I mean, we had subject choices, and my subject choices, you know, included IT. I was like, there's no way I'm letting go of IT because I was very passionate about computers, and my passion for computers actually was sparked by my early exposure to computers. My father used to work at the Peace Corps. Right? Is it Peace Corps or Peace Corps?
Peace Corps. I learned in the US.
Right? It's Peace Corps. Yeah, so he used to work there, and one day he brought home those early versions of Mac desktop. He brought it home. It was black and white. I remember I used to fiddle with it. Just switch it on, and after I switch it on, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I know it's on, and I'll be excited that it's on. Do something until I see a weird message on the screen, and then I get scared, and then I switch it off. You know, and then I'll do that almost every day until I discover one program, and then I start playing around with it, and you know, so that was my early exposure to computers. And I remember a couple of years later, he brought home a Windows PC. And then, I was exposed to the world of paint. I used to play around with paint a lot.
Wow.
I don't know people who remember. I don't know
yes,
if people remember paint. Yeah, I used to play around with paint, draw pictures, do whatever. And then I used to play a lot of games, Free Cell and Solitaire. So that's where my passion for computers started. And funny enough, primary, I did my primary at Seventh-day Adventist, and I remember, I think it was about grade 4 or 5 when they introduced computers at school, and it was just natural. And for me, when other students were sort of, wondering what this is, I was like, no man, I have this at home.
This at home.
So
privilege.
Yeah.
So now fast forward from high school to university, you complete a degree in computer science, and now many years later you launch your business Technify. What does Technify do, and tell us about Technify.
So Technify, the idea of Technify basically was to say we're an agent of transformation. As a business, before Technify you're manual, after Technify you're digital, basically. So we help businesses leverage on technology to improve their services. Basically, that's us in a nutshell. And like I said, we focus primarily on small businesses. I don't know if you're aware of a platform that we piloted, or a platform that we tried called Lunchbox. So the idea of Lunchbox was to have an aggregator of restaurants. Because the idea is this: people want delivery. I told you about the evolution of the modern day consumer. The consumer wants this, the consumer wants that, and if you as the business can't meet their needs, then you lose out on revenue. So Lunchbox was an aggregator, right, but also a solution for those small restaurants to deliver, to fulfill, to deliver the food to their customers. So the road was not very easy, of course, with Lunchbox, because first we have to get the technology right. After we get the technology right, then we have to get the infrastructure right. So we didn't have, and by infrastructure, I'm actually talking about two things, because at Technify, when we talk about e-commerce, we say e-commerce has 3 pillars, right? It's the online platforms, right? It's the payments, because payments are tricky, especially for a platform. If you want to be a platform and you're expecting volumes, that's volumes of transaction. So imagine, say we're a Lunchbox and we're processing 100 orders a day, right? And then I have to manually, but it pays me in my mobile money account, and then I have to manually do star whatever to that business, and then star whatever. It's gonna take forever. So those payments need to be automated. Customer buys food from a restaurant on my platform, the money has to go directly to them, and the delivery money has to go to the delivery guy, and that has to be automated, no human intervention. And for that to happen, it means the infrastructure has to be integrated. You understand? The payment systems have to expose APIs so that our platforms can connect, and then we can do transactions. So once that part is done, then the last part is delivery. We have to have delivery resources. And I've been looking in the market. There've been small guys. Somebody comes and say, I have a bike, I'm available to order. And the more bikes we have, then the more resources that as platform builders, we can tap into these resources, connect the dots, and at the end of the day, the consumer just wants that convenience. How it happens, they don't necessarily care. Of course, some customers are picky, but others just want their food at their doorstep.
Delivered at the right time.
Delivered
at the right time.
Condition. Right.
So I love the fact that you've mentioned Lunchbox as one of the flagship programs or initiatives of businesses, platforms, actually, that's a correct word, that Technify has launched recently. In the last few weeks, we also saw a new kid on the block, Pocket Power. Yes, I was looking for the last word. Pocket Power. What is Pocket Power, and how did it start, and what does it seek to do? Tell us. Pocket Power. I'm thinking power in my pocket.
Exactly.
Talk us through Pocket Power.
So, when you are accepted into university, right, you have 2 options to pay for university. Either you pay out of your own pocket, or you get scholarship. So if you're a university student, particularly postgraduate. You apply for your postgraduate, you get accepted into your postgraduate course, but you don't get a scholarship, right? Then you have no choice but to pay out of your own pocket. But if your pocket, is not strong enough, that's where pocket power comes in. You want to give strength to your pocket so that you're able to cover for your own fees. So, in short, pocket power is a crowdfunding platform. Now, the concept of crowdfunding is not new. I mean, in the US, we have crowdfunding platforms like GoFundMe, Kickstarter, Indiegogo. There are different crowdfunding platforms out there. Even in South Africa, we have Back Your Body, and others that I've forgotten. So the concept of crowdfunding is not new, but in the country, it's not there. And then I decided, we should have a crowdfunding platform, because we do have a lot of students who are accepted into universities outside of the country but don't get scholarships. I know that because it has happened to me. In fact, I'm in that situation right now. I applied for the Chevening scholarship, I think twice, got rejected twice. Maybe I did not pay attention to the application. But then when I got rejected, I was like, man, I have an admission, but I don't have money. I have two choices. I can either give up or wait for another year to try and get rejected, maybe the third time, and then the university says, well, I can't keep deferring all the time, So I said, I need to do something. So then I was thinking of a crowdfunding platform, and I said, you know what, maybe we should go into crowdfunding. But while I was thinking about it and not actioning it, then my brother came to me with the same situation. He says, yo, I got accepted to UCL, University College London. It's the second best university in the world when it comes to architecture. I was like, bro, this is great news, And then he said, but unfortunately, I don't have scholarship. And I'm like, snap. You're in the same situation as I am. And then that's when the big brother things kicked in, and I said, you know what? Then we have to go to market with pocket power. So we decided, as Technify, we decided to pilot with both our cases, but more focusing on him. So we decided to pilot with them. I think the pilot started on sometime in May, and his campaign ended in June. So he needed about 40,000 K. I mean 40,000. 40,000 K. He needed about 40,000 to pay for his deposit. And he needed that in 2 weeks.
Wow. Okay.
So that situation literally said, it's do or die. What are you gonna do? We said, we're launching. We went into the market, started his campaign, and the good thing about him is that he's a video guy. So he shot a nice video of himself, asking people for money, and then we just put it on our platforms, use social media, spread the word around, spoke to friends, family, and the communities, and yeah, man, and it was successful. We were targeting to raise 40,000 number, but at the end of 2 weeks, we were sitting at 53,000. Right?
Oh God,
we were blown away. We were like, oh man, this what?
Yeah.
And mind you, had everybody honored their pledges, we would have been sitting at 64K. So that was the first challenge. So that people were going to make pledges.
True, and not follow through.
But for those that followed through, we were able to pay for his deposit, and that was the first milestone of Pocket Power. Of course, his fee is not free cut. Right? We still have an even longer way to go, and we still need to, push his campaign, let people know that there's a crowdfunding platform, and it's not just for him. We're currently at a pilot stage, but we intend to open the platform up for everybody else who's in the same situation.
Interesting. I think before I move on to the next question, you mentioned that the first challenge was people pledging but not honoring them. What are maybe two other challenges that you've experienced through the campaign and of course the pilot project?
So the two other challenges, after we paid the deposit, his campaign. So his campaign was about 40K. Now his next campaign, or step 2, is about 600K.
Yeah.
So the large figures seems to either give people a fright or a scare, or people are now a bit skeptical, like, can we raise 600K? I mean, yes, we did 40K, but can we do 600K? So the campaign is not moving as quickly as it did then, and we're asking ourselves question: is it the figure, or is it the timeline? Do people give when the timeline is really tight or whatnot? So these are things that we're learning. But what we do know for sure is that the campaign is not performing as well as it did the first time. So we came up with new ways to accelerate, the campaign. One of the ways in which we're accelerating the campaign is people want to know Tsepile is doing something. We're not just giving him money and he's not doing anything.
So the trust element,
right. So we released a feature called Marketplace, the Pocket Power Marketplace. This is where our campaigners will sell goods and services, right? In other words, what are you good at, or what can you sell to contribute to your own campaign?
True.
Right.
Strangely, just off camera, I was chatting to him on Saturday that is, and I was like, you know what? Actually, I'm looking for somebody to edit my vlogs. And he's like, and I'm looking at him, I'm like, you know that 600K we need to raise?
Yeah,
this is how we do it.
100%.
So, I mean, I think it's a better point, because people will commit and support, but you as the person who is requesting funding also need to show initiative and show commitment to your own dreams. So I like that. Actually, I like that,
because basically the Pocket Power is, we're not enabling you to ask for handouts. No, we are helping you to top up. Basically, Pocket Power is there to top up what you already have. So we're expecting Tsepile to do something. We're expecting his parents to come up with something, but that's their side.
Yeah,
our side as Pocket Power is to top you up on whatever amount that you need to be, that you need to top you up with.
So I'm imagining student in a similar situation to you, and of course Tsepile, who would want to use Pocket Power as a platform to also raise funding. How then do they get involved in the project? How then do they use this platform to also achieve their tuition goal, if you will?
Yes. So as soon as we launch officially, because like I mentioned, we're still in the piloting stage and still trying to figure out what the challenges are, and setting up shop and getting ready for the volumes. But as soon as we're ready, all they have to do is apply on the platform, and in the application they must show proof of admission. We want to see a letter of admission that you have been admitted to some university in South Africa, in the UK, in the US, wherever. It will be clear after we launch on which countries we're focusing on, because we don't want to bite off more than we can chew. We want to, work with a few countries first and make sure that we can assist our students fully. But all will be clear after the launch, because we're still differentiating on it. Also, you have to prove that you can afford it. Right. So there was a study made in SA that showed that households of a combined income of less than 600K, they can't afford university fees. So there is a platform in South Africa that is helping. It's also a crowdfunding platform for students. It's helping students from household families that earn less than 600K per year, and we decided to adopt the same model. So if you come from a family and you can prove to us that you don't earn more than 600K per month, then you are eligible to raise funds on Pocket Power.
600K per annum.
Okay,
cool.
Combined. Both your parents together don't make more than 600K. If they do, then we believe then they can afford. Could be wrong, but at this stage, that's the baseline that we're starting with.
Okay.
And then in the future, should we review the baseline, then we will announce.
So for me, I like the fact that you guys are piloting and you are adding and making changes as you go along from the learnings that you're making. And I want to shift slightly from this topic back to 2019. So 2019 was a very good year for Thato or Trey specifically. Talk us through what the three things that were in my view, of interest to you. So talk us through some of those two things that you know I'm talking about for the viewers. Tell us what it is and how that has shaped who you are and who you've become, and also how it has benefited your company, Technify.
So it actually started back in 2018.
Okay.
So in 2018, I was incubated at the Vodacom Innovation Park, and we wanted to digitize taxi payments, right? Because I don't know, it's just that back in 2018, I used public transport to go to work, and it was always frustrating about the cash, So it was just like, guys, let's build a platform that will digitize the whole experience. So we got incubated at the Vodacom Innovation Park, and while we were in there, UNDP announced a hackathon, financial inclusion hackathon. We applied with my team, and we won actually. So 2018, was that 2018? Yes, I believe it was 2018. We won, so I might be mixing up the dates.
That's fine.
But then we won the hackathon, and we were in a good place. I mean, we had working space. We had office space. We're not paying rent, not paying for internet, and then we also won a cash prize of $5,000 US, and it sort of validated that there is an opportunity.
Yeah.
So while we were working on that, someone suggested that I apply for
the Mandela
Washington Fellowship. And I think that not just someone, it was my former boss, Fanana.
Yeah,
I think he's also
an alumni
of the program. He said, yo, man, just apply for this. I applied for it, and lo and behold, I got in. It was 2019, and things were sort of looking nice. I mean, we just got into the Vodacom Innovation Park. We just won the UNDP hackathon. I just got accepted into Yali, and so while we were doing the training for the hackathon, UNDP had hired or outsourced a consultant from Ghana called MEST. So MEST is a technology incubator and accelerator based in Ghana. So UNDP had outsourced them, and they came in and gave us training.
Yeah.
So I had heard of MEST before, but I'd only heard of the MEST challenge. Usually, it's called the MEST challenge, and online somewhere you apply and you get to win funding. So because I was familiar with these guys, I asked them, I really know what you guys are about. What does it take for one to be a part of the program? And they just said, no, just apply.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. I applied. I mean, I didn't think I was going to get in because MEST is such a big program based in Ghana, and West Africa is a very, very competitive space. I honestly didn't think I was going to get in, but I did. So in 2019, I was part of two incredible programs. The Mandela Washington Fellowship, it took about 6 weeks. After the 6 weeks, I only had 2 weeks here at home. After 2 weeks, I went to Ghana for about a year to learn how to build tech businesses.
Wow, incredible story. So for me, you are reaffirming the fact that as Basotho youth, we need to be willing to put ourselves out there. We need to be willing to apply for opportunities, because there's also this syndrome that I don't qualify or I won't get into the program, and therefore we don't apply. So lastly, in closing, you seem like a very resilient guy. You've gone through the highs, the lows, pocket power, lunchbox, trying to pay your taxi fare using technology. You are advocating for businesses to go digital. So what is your call to action for people who are watching this particular video and listen to the podcast? What's your call to action? What do you want people to do? Particularly focusing on pocket power.
Pocket power.
Yeah. And of course, Technify as a business as well.
Yes. It's fine. I'll focus on pocket power because that's our newest kid on the block. And I want to talk directly to aspiring postgraduate students. If you're listening to this video and one day you want to do your postgraduate anywhere in the world, right? You want to be a postgraduate, chances are you might not get a scholarship. And when that happens, what plan do you have to pay for your own fee? Right? If you don't have a plan, pocket power is the plan, right? So I'm asking them to, aspiring postgraduate students, I'm asking you to donate, right? If somebody's raising funds on that platform, give to that person, because next time it will be you, and other people will give. So this is really for people that believe in lifelong learning, people that really believe in education. It is first and foremost for us. You understand? Before anybody else come and gives to us, for us that believe in education, this is our platform. There are people out there who don't believe in education anymore. Education, So I don't think I'm expecting much from those people, because they you're not gonna put your money to a thing that you don't value. But those that value education, let's make sure that Pocket Power works, because if it works for someone, it will definitely work for you.
If it works for someone, it will definitely work for you. So where do they find information about Pocket Power?
Currently, they can visit www.pocketpower.co.ls. They will find all the information there, or they can visit our social media platforms. But they're also available on the website. So I'm just going to promote one channel of the website. Go to the website, and you'll find links to our social media channels.
Well, guys, you heard it live here on Escapes and Money Adventures with TK. I am chatting to Thato Rammoko from Technify, but we've been specifically talking about Pocket Power, the newest kid on the block. If you're a postgraduate student trying to get into university, or you know somebody who's trying to get to university, let's come together as a community, support, donate, and contribute towards a good cause, and to help these young graduates get their qualifications, particularly if they don't have funding or bursaries or scholarships. So remember to, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment in the description, I always mess this up. Leave a comment below and let us know what you think about it, where you are if you are a postgraduate student trying to go study abroad, and of course just generally what you thought about this conversation. Share, subscribe, and let's talk about this video, and let's get Pocket Power trending. And then last but not least, remember to hit the notification bell so that you have all updates every time I drop a new video on the platform. This video was sponsored by Pocket Pause. Pocket Pause. Listen to me talk about Pocket Pause. Pocket Power. My goodness. Yeah, guys. And of course, the videography is done by Thato Rammoko. You will be seeing more of him on my podcast and video and vlogs. So until the next one, guys, love, peace, and money. Pocket Power. Cheers.
Yeah.
Signing out.
Peace.